Welcome everybody back to Friar Talk. Hope your day is going well. Today we're going to be talking about the Cy Young winner, Blake Snell. Right before the season ended, we actually had an episode about him. We thought he's going to come through with it. He had a couple of big matchups. Guess what? He pitched well, kind of ran away with the award. And I think once the season ended, I didn't think there was any question marks about it. But officially on Wednesday, he was the Cy Young winner. Now, basically that comes out, and simultaneously it comes out that the Padres are apparently potential suitors to keep him. I haven't heard the Padres linked to any other players yet this offseason. They have been linked to Blake Snell. Obviously, very early on in the offseason, a lot of time to go through it. But we had talked about this in the past is it possible for the Padres to keep Blake Snell? We don't really know the financial situation with them. But Isaac, let's be generous, all right? Let's say the Padres have $50 million to work with. They're expected to have about $30 million to work with. You can you can offload some money, you can offload some contracts, you can do stuff like that. But let's say that they have 50, so let's increase it by 20. Would you be willing to give Blake Snell a contract where he's making around 25 million a year? You're going to cut that number in half, and you're going to be able to pay him. You think it's possible? Do you think the Padres are actual suitors, or do you think it's just kind of smoke?
I think they're suitors in the sense that he's been here before. He loves San Diego, and look, it's a damn shame if you have a Cy Young Award winner and you just let him walk. You at least have to give him an offer. You can't just say we don't have enough money for you, so we're not going to try keeping you. No, 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 that can't be the case. He just won a Cy Young Award for you. He had honestly, that's one of the best pitching seasons I've ever seen from someone in a Padres uniform. Yeah, you need to try and get him back in a Padres uniform stat. And it's unfortunate because you're going to need to bring the man his money. He absolutely deserves it. That's his second Cy Young. And it's kind of weird because you wouldn't think of someone like Blake Snell as a two-time Cy Young Award winner. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, because so most of the time it's half of the season he's not that good. The rest of the half he looks the way he did this season. However, this time around, and the first time he won the Cy Young, he looked this way the whole entire year. And problem with paying him is, are you going to get that Blake Snell or are you going to get the other Blake Snell? However, even if you get the other Blake Snell, it still benefited the Padres in that 2022 run when you needed some wins, and he was out there producing like one of the best pitchers in baseball. So would I say he's worth 25, 30 million? Not if he's pitching the way that he was prior to this year, but if he's pitching the way he was in 2022, or I'm sorry, 2023, yeah, damn right he's worth that money. Maybe elsewhere though. Unfortunately. Now, if the Padres had a lot of money to spend, instantly, I'm saying, hell yeah, bring Blake Snell back. One of my favorite pitchers, one of the best pitchers to watch. He's very fun to watch in the sense that you don't know what you're going to get. It could be either 7 shutty or 4 innings and 2 earned runs and 6 walks. You don't know. But it's a lot of fun to watch him pitch. And he's an amazing personality to have on your team. He's an amazing player. Amazing for us fans to see. He's honestly the perfect player that I would want on my team. It's just the fact that we don't have a lot of money to spend, apparently. And granted, we don't know for sure if that's true. They always end up shocking us somehow, some way. The way we were told that they only have 20 million to spend, then they dropped 25 million on Xander Bogaerts and some on other players. So we don't know for sure. Would it make a lot of sense? Yes, I think it's a lot more true that we don't have as much money to spend this time around as we did last year or the year before. However, hey, if they have the money to go out and get Blake Snell and get, another few more pitchers, go for it, man. And that's the problem, though, is that we need more, like, not just one starting pitcher. We need a good 4, 5, 6 starting pitchers. And I'd say a good 1 or 2 of those are going to have to come through the trade market, and the rest is going to have to come through free agency. And if you're going to open up more money, you might have to dump off some salary. You might have to figure out to dump Jake Cronenworth, to dump Xander Bogaerts. I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to figure out a way to open up the salary because we're not going in again with 5 starting pitchers. Even 6. We shouldn't even go in
Well,
with 6.
you say that.
Oh, but it's probably gonna happen. Yeah, it's probably gonna happen. Yeah. Um, I have no doubts that we're going in with 5 or 6 and thinking, hey, let's just hope no one gets injured. When in reality, someone gets injured for us every year, and that's why we end up having to throw Ryan Weathers, Matt Waldron, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but realistically, man, going back to Blake Snell, first off, congratulations. That was one of the best pitching seasons I've ever seen in my life. It was fantastic going to Petco and watching him pitch. I think I specifically went to go watch him multiple times. So it was a joy. It was an honor to watch Blake Snell in what was potentially his final season as a Padre uniform in a Padre uniform, and I'm glad he went out with a bang. Um, with that being said, hey, if I'm AJ Preller, I'm doing everything I can to try and keep him in a Padres uniform. But this season and this season only is going to be the only time I understand letting someone like him walk.
Yeah, so fun fact for you. Blake Snell now has 2 more Cy Youngs than he has career complete games. Just a fun little nugget there. Because that's always the complaint, right? Blake Snell doesn't go to distance. Well, there you go. He has more Cy Youngs than he has complete games. But yeah, you're right when you're talking about starting pitchers. Now, you did bring up a number 6. That's kind of a crazy number. But if you start looking at it, you're like, all right, you got 2. No, you got 3. Let's say you got 3. I'd say you need 5 more, max 5. But people are like 8 starting pitchers, you have 5 in rotation or 6 in rotation. Yeah, but they get hurt. That's the Padres' problem. That's their kryptonite almost every single year. And people aren't going to look back to it this year. They're not going to look back to that being one of the big issues. But look at who is eating up the innings for the Padres. Ryan Weathers pitched a lot of innings. You look at the 2021 collapse. It's the same thing. You need at least 7. You need 7 to 8 capable arms. Do they all have to be aces? No. But look at Pedro Avila this year. He's a perfect example of what you want from that role. He did a fantastic job. You need guys like him. You have him. He might end up knocking on the door for the 5th spot this year. Probably, honestly, probably is, and that's probably a good idea for the Padres to do because they need some cheap, controllable arms that are being used. Um, you look at the Padres prospect list. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think anyone's ready yet. I really don't think anyone's ready yet. Like, Alec Jacob out of the pen, he's good to go. He pitched a little bit last year, but like that's kind of it. Like Robbie Snelling's not ready. Adam Mazur's not ready. Maybe he is. Maybe Snelling is, but Snelling's 19. That's the thing. Like you can't bank on those guys being ready. Maybe come spring training, you're kind of deciding, do we want to sign a vet for kind of cheap, or do we want to give one of these guys a chance, or do we believe that they're going to be ready, like, later on in the season? If not, you need to sign 3 or 4 guys or trade for guys. And I brought up the 50 million. That's probably way too much. It's probably 30 million. Padres can offload some money. They can trade Cronenworth. They can trade Grisham. Grisham's going to be like 5 mil. Nick Martinez opted out of his deal. I don't know why. Thank you for doing that. That helps the Padres a whole lot. I don't know if anyone was like upset about that. I'm not upset about that. Waka, that one sucks. Lugo, that one sucks. Those ones hurt. But the fact, I don't know. I honestly don't know why Nick Martinez opted out of his contract. I'm really confused by that. But you look at it and you basically have 3 guys right now: Musgrove, Darvish, Avila. 3 guys. You need 2 more starters, and you need about 3 arms that are ready to go if you need, and they can be long relief options. So, is it likely? No. But then you look at the other teams that are rumored to be interested, according to Heyman. Do you know who they are, Isaac? They're the Giants and the Dodgers. So if you lose Blake Snell, you might have an offseason where you lose your Cy Young pitcher. You're losing half of your innings pitched this year. That's how much the Padres have to replace half of their innings pitched using your stud closer, your Cy Young winning pitcher, 3 of your other starters, bunch of bullpen pieces, half of your innings. And you're telling me you're just going to roll over and you're going to let the Dodgers sign Ohtani and Blake Snell? It's almost a non-competitive move at that point. So, of course, the Padres have to be interested in Blake Snell because they're forced to be interested in Blake in bringing him back. Like, and you have to just do your due diligence in the situation. I don't know if it'll happen. I hope it does. I also look at it and I'm kind of like, what does this deal look like? Because I don't know if it's going to work out with Blake Snell. So I get that side, but they have to find a way to at least add one really good arm. And I don't know if maybe that's not this year, maybe that's next year, maybe that's in the future, but they're gonna have to move around money a lot, but they're at least gonna have to be looking to bring him back. And if they don't, that's just like a question of like, all right, is this just a throwaway season? Because it can't be. It cannot be a throwaway season. Especially if you're gonna run it back and have Juan Soto in your lineup this year, because you don't know what the future looks like there. So that's kind of my overall thoughts. Hypothetical, Isaac. Are you willing to just dish out Bogarts, eat a little bit of the money, ship him out to re-sign Blake Snell?
Yep. I mean,
Pretty easy, right?
yeah, I mean, well, you need starting pitching, and I feel like it's going to be a lot easier to get a cheap first baseman than it is to get a good cheap starting pitcher, right? I mean, that's the whole story of it. And I mean, nothing against Xander. I think he's going to actually have a decent season coming back. But I hate to say it, but his money is Juan Soto's money. That should have been Juan Soto's money. I'll take it a step further. Manny Machado's money should have been Juan Soto's money as well. I hate to say that.
I mean, just being realistic, dude. Like, who's
23? Yeah. I mean, it's nothing against Manny Machado, one of my favorite players ever, and probably my second favorite player on the Padres right now. But pay 30-something-year-old Manny Machado or pay 23, 24-year-old Juan Soto? That's an easy choice. Considering Juan Soto just put up over a 900 OPS season, and it's like nobody even talked about it. It's just normal for him, right? It's just a normal thing for him. Anyone else does it, it's holy crap, there's an MVP season. Juan Soto does it. Hey, that's normal. This is Juan Soto. That's what we expect. Yeah, I'm paying that guy. Yeah, there's some money that you have to offload in order to be able to keep Blake Snell around, and it's why I don't really think it's realistic. If you lose Blake Snell, you better believe you got to be in on Yamamoto. That's actually who I would prefer over Blake Snell. I really want Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and maybe soon when we have a good amount of time on our hands, we'll do an in-depth video on Yamamoto, because I think he'd be a great prospect for the Padres to be able to obtain. And I think it's a great market for him. I think this is a great destination for him. But yeah, that's a picture that I think, hey, if you're going to go out and get a good arm other than Blake Snell, get one that's young that you'll be able to have for years to come, and you won't have to worry. You might not have to worry about that ace spot for years and years and years. So I think that's the move. Trading for other arms is also going to be the move. We never know who AJ Preller is actually in on. We don't know who he's going to go get. But multiple starting pitchers is going to be the goal for the Padres. And it's unfortunate that we're in this position with Blake Snell. I wish he was around for a lot longer. I think he's a fantastic pitcher, fantastic player, fantastic personality. It's going to hurt very much to see him go. It will hurt a lot more if it's to one of our division rivals, but hey, he's going to go wherever the money is, and I absolutely respect his decision. Nonetheless, I'm very proud of Blake Snell, and I'm very happy that he was able to do that in a Padres uniform. And I hope that, somehow, some way he gets to do that for more years to come.
No, I'm right there with you. And yeah, we're going to have to dive into these free agents, dude, because MLB free agency is so weird. It's like so slow and like nothing's happening, and then you're like, boom, big deal. And then like it just takes forever, like the process of it. It's not like the NBA or the NFL at all.
Yeah, it starts to pile up and pile up and pile up. Like when one signing starts happening, because we've talked about this before, right? Everyone's just waiting for that first deal. As soon as that first deal happens, usually at the winter meetings, if not a little earlier, everything just starts to fall into place. All the pieces start to fall into place. I forgot what the first deal was last year, but after that first deal, things started to pick up like crazy. And it's all in a condensed period of time, which is why it is so fun. And I'm so excited for it. I can't wait. But I hope that we're one of the teams that is popping up a lot on Twitter.
I feel like this is not going to be the year.
I don't think it is either, if I'm being honest, but I hope so.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that's kind of our thoughts on Blake Snell. But I mean, you brought up Yamamoto. Anyone else that you guys are wanting us to talk about? I mean, I feel like Cody Bellinger's been a big name. He's dude, as much as I would like to talk about Cody Bellinger, we've talked about Cody Bellinger so much on this channel, and I feel like there's like a 0% chance he even like takes a meeting with Padres. Um, but yeah, we can do stuff on guys for the Padres to trade, guys for the Padres to go after, to either trade for or to sign. But let us know common players you're interested in because that kind of helps us with like, oh, dude, this would be a cool fit. Kind of gets our gears kind of flowing on that. But we'll definitely talk about him. Definitely talk about a lot of more pitching heavy. I mean, there's not too much to do with like lineup stuff. We'll probably talk about Juan Soto shortly as well. But yeah, I think we're kind of back. Isaac and I were kind of starting new jobs, so if you're wondering why there was no Friar Talk videos, that was a lot of the reason. Also, there was nothing going on worth discussing, so that was fair too. But yeah, so we're kind of back now. I will be doing a few episodes every week, and I think we're kind of back to a schedule where like, okay, we know the days that we're both free. We know when Chase is free, so we're finally back to that, which is nice because it was a while that we weren't really on that. So it's cool to be back. But yeah, fun to talk about Blake Snell. Congratulations to him. Congratulations. I'm happy that he did it in a Padres uniform. So that's gonna do it for today. But thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to y'all soon. See ya.